and dive into this first deal. Again, making deal, no deal decisions. It's very critical that you have, like I said before, that you have an understanding of what your goals are, because you'll find yourself just chasing deals if you don't have the proper game plan in place. If you don't understand, of course, should I be pursuing this deal or not? Before you even decide based on the numbers whether the deal makes sense or not. So there are a lot of ways to make money. There are a lot of deals that can be attractive, to an investor, but it may not be the right deal for that investor. Again, so making deal no deal decisions depends on your goals, your strategies, and your game plan. But let's take a listen to this deal, which is one of the deals presented at Deals Meetup, and let's very carefully listen to the deal as it's presented. And then we're going to come back after the deal is presented, after we listen to it, and then we're going to actually talk through the deal itself and decide whether the deal is a deal or no deal. So let's go ahead and listen in to this deal that was presented at a recent Deals Meetup.
Okay. Yeah, this is one 1520 West Pratt Street. It's right there in right behind the historic Union Square. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom property. It will be delivered vacant, and it's an owner financing deal structure. Owner is asking for 85,000 at 6%, with a 5,000 down. Type of deal. Cash flow is around $350 to $400 a month. Um, and it's in very good condition. It's available for showing, but it's 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, granite countertops in the kitchen. It's cash flowing. The last tenant is $1,300 a month. I mean,
So Theo,
total.
so Theo, I
Rent.
don't see it in here, but did you just posted it?
But I posted it before, and I refreshed it,
All right,
but
one
maybe
second.
that's why.
1 second. So I
It's
don't
in
see it, but it's okay. It's not in here, so you may have to post it afterwards, after today. But that's okay. Let's
okay.
pull it. We're just gonna pull it up on just online. 15 what? What's the address? 1520 West Pratt. Go ahead and unmute. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, 1520 West Pratt. 1520 West Pratt.
West Baltimore. I'm gonna go ahead
Yep.
and scroll through some of these pictures real quick.
Yeah, those are the pictures I had on the site anyways.
All right, so why don't you break down exactly what you're asking for the property, and then you mentioned some creative terms. So go ahead and summarize that again.
Yeah, so asking 85,000 at 6%, 30-year amortization. She is owner's asking for a 5-year balloon on that option, but it's negotiable, and
Okay.
it's 5,000 down.
Okay. Five. So 5,000 down is how much it would cost the investor you're wholesaling it to, right?
To get into the deal, correct.
To get into the deal. Okay. And what would be the payments thereafter?
It would be PITI, or no, well, PNI would be 500 and I think 30 worked out to be. Let me just pull it up real quick.
And the reason why I'm asking these detailed questions is because you have to remember, not every investor, right, is familiar with creative deals like this. So it's in your
Right.
best interest to spell it out as simply and cleanly as possible for everyone to understand. Okay, so go ahead and pull up the numbers.
Yep.
As while he's pulling up the numbers, you can see here on Zillow it says the Zestimate for what it's worth. These are Zillow's automated valuation numbers, right? So Zestimate is 164 uh, for sale comps, and for rents estimate 1,500 a month. Okay, so go ahead and break down exactly what the detailed creative terms would be for a wholesale buyer to buy this property from you.
All right. So your principal and interest payment would be $509 a month. Call it 510. Okay. You add your insurance, whoever you get it, but I typically pay between 50 and 60 bucks a month. And then your taxes, which the owner is actually in the process of appealing here with the city. So the tax rate is going to be adjusted apparently. But right now taxes were What were the last taxes here? Tax history was 4,200, so that's why she's appealing it, because that's valuing it much higher. It's assessed values of 178 right now, for that block. That's a lot of stuff going on behind it. So all in, you would be, you should be around 850 all in. Call it $900, and you could, it was easily rented for 1,300.
Okay. All right. So, is there any balloon on
Yeah,
that?
she did ask for a 5 year, but that's negotiable.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, any questions on Theo with this deal? Again, I wanted him to break out the creative nature of the financing here. If you guys remember off the top, I said some of the best ways to get deals done in this market is through creative deal engineering. You have to mix and match different deal structures in order to make deals work in today's market. You just can't come in, trying to chop off people's knees with the lowest offer, because people are going to not be in positions to make those deals work. They're going to hang up the phone on you. They're going to say, take me off your list. They're going to say DNC, DNT, all those different things, which immediately cuts off your ability to work with them. So you have to come up with creative strategies to get these deals under contract. So any questions for Theo on this particular deal? Before we throw it over to the deal or no deal poll. So 5,000 to get 5,000 to get into the deal. Okay, that includes your wholesale fee.
Yes.
Okay, 5,000 to get into the deal includes his wholesale fee. Okay, then how much again should they be expected to cash flow if your numbers hold roughly?
I would say between 350 to 400, depending on their insurance.
Between $350 and $400, depending on your insurance of cash flow per month. And what would you say? What would your exit be in 5 years if you had that balloon? Would you be looking to refi and then keep it as a rental, or would you look to maybe do some cosmetic improvements to then sell? What would your strategy be? What would you recommend?
Yeah, my strategy based on all that's happening in that area would be just to hold it and do the cash out refi, because everything, I mean, that particular block that it's on is very good, and right behind it, houses are selling for 200,000-300,000. So I would hold it, in my opinion, do some improvements, and just do a cash out refi. That would be my approach.
All right. So before we turn it over for questions, what I'm going to do is we typically try to show people neighborhoods. So let me see if I can get in.
All right, so we're gonna stop right there and just cut in and do some postmortem, some deal, no deal analysis here. So this deal was actually one that you heard was set up with creative deal structuring. There was seller financing that was used on this particular deal. The seller was willing to actually sell the property and hold all of the financing. And it sounds like the wholesaler negotiated the seller financing with very little down, which is why $5,000 down actually gets you into the deal, meaning that includes the seller's down payment required and the wholesaler's down payment required, with $5,000 down being that wholesale fee. So let's take a step back, risk reward. So does this sound like a risky deal? Well, it's one that possibly could have immediate cash flow there. $5,000 down. Sounds like the PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, is around $900 a month. Principal and interest being $509, adding in taxes and insurance, bringing it up to around $900 a month. The Zestimate, the Zillow estimate for rent rates in that area is $1,500, and the wholesaler there was saying that he thinks that he could get a cash flow after you subtract the $900 PITI from what the market rent is there, $1,400 or thereabout, that you could get somewhere between $350 and $400 a month of cash flow. So risk reward, does it sound like a risky deal? Well, it doesn't sound like too much of a risky deal. You're not really speculating based off of a short-term flip ARV, after repair value. Doesn't sound like you have to put a lot of capital expenditures, CapEx into the property. And it sounds like there's some, short-term immediate cash flow there when you go to a cash flow of $350 to $400 a month. Now, okay, cash on cash return. And if you're putting out $5,000 and you're getting back, let's say $400 a month, $400 a month times 12, that's going to get you to $4,800 a year, or somewhere close to $5,000. So if you put down $5,000, you get $5,000 back in a year. Sounds like you get all your money back in a year, which sounds like 100% cash on cash return. So just on the surface, it sounds like the deal, has pretty low risk in the fact that you're not having to risk a lot of capital. Sounds like you're getting cash flow, pretty quickly. Sounds like cash on cash return is decent. So, what does this sound like in terms of whether it's a deal or not? Let's see what people, at Deals Meetup had to say about this particular deal. And there was a pretty active and engaging live poll at Deals Meetup on this one. We had 19 respondents to the live poll. And out of those 19 people, 95% said it was a deal, and only 5% said no deal. Now, does this mean that you should, chase down and track down deals like this? Well, it depends, right? It depends on what are your goals. Are your goals, residual income? Are your goals, cash flow goal based? Are you looking to build wealth? Are you looking to buy assets where you're going to not only cash flow, but have the potential for appreciation? Are you looking to have equity built in? Are you looking to have real estate be a pathway to financial freedom? Or are you looking at real estate through some other, goal-oriented, lenses? Maybe, maybe you don't want to hold properties for cash flow. Maybe you just want to, get in and out of properties with flips only, and you don't want to own any assets. There's some people that have strategies like that, although I would say that, the better long-term strategies do center around holding assets, not only for cash flow purposes, but also for tax benefits, tax write-off benefits, for depreciation in terms of write-offs, for appreciation in terms of wealth building. And so there are many benefits to actually, of course, holding properties for appreciation, cash flow, tax write-offs. So if your goals center around residual income, center around cash flow, then this might be a very good deal for you, which is why likely that 95% of people actually rank that particular property a deal. So what are the characteristics of this that make it a deal? Well, there's only $5,000 down. You didn't have to seek out financing from a bank, or hard money lender, because the seller was the bank by holding seller financing. There was the $5,000 down included not only the down payment on the seller financing, but also the wholesale fee. And there was immediate cash flow, $350 to $400 a month, which translated to a very fast payback period of 1 year, which is like 100% return. So those four factors right there, made this particular deal, more than likely a deal. But again, it depends on what your goals are, right? So there are a lot of deals that may look like deals, but it may not be a good deal for you. And that really, goes back to the question of, what are, your goals? What are your 2021 goals, right? And so if you don't have those types of goals laid out, if you don't have, a strategy associated with those goals, so first you need to have the goals. They need to be clear, right? So you're not just chasing deals, just like, like a chicken with your head cut off, just like, oh, there's a deal, chase this deal. Oh, that sounds good, chase that deal. Well, if it doesn't jive with your, your 1 year, your 3 year, your 5 year goals, then you never can actually be confident in the deals that you pursue, right? And so although it may be a deal, it may not be the right deal for you because it doesn't line up well with your goals. It doesn't line up well with the strategy that should be implemented. And then of course, it wouldn't fall into the game plan that you have laid out. So we love to talk to you about, your real estate goals here turning into the new year. I'd love to do a free strategy session with you, discuss your real estate goals, see how we can help you at Deal Mastery. Maybe we can direct you to some resources, maybe our Deal Mastery resources, relationships, and expert strategies can help you into achieving your goals. You can schedule a free strategy session with me at mastermindopen.com. That's